Hey guys, welcome to this week's Meet the Collection. Somebody who looks very not thrilled to be here. And be careful with her because she just ate a few days ago. You guys saw one of my marble females that I held back from the pairing that Rob and I did. This is the other female that I kept here. She doesn't have quite the vibrant orange head, but she's got crazy busy pattern, especially on this side here, which she's going to block with her head right now. Just absolutely stunning animal. Temperament's pretty good, obviously. Oop, as she falls. I don't have any issues with her. She's not overly nervous. She can posture a little bit in her tub, but it's typically more for show than anything. All these marbles have been really, really great for me. So I've been very, very happy with them. Obviously, she's a very pretty animal. My plan is to shoot for some extreme marble stuff eventually. I don't really foresee myself at this point in time moving the marble into any other projects. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to adjust this a bit so I don't have to hold her up quite so high. You don't need to see me as much now. You can focus on her a little bit more. So I would like to hold these females back. I have their father, plus I have 2 males. So I ended up keeping 2.2 from this clutch. I did have the 1 male that I lost to hard belly. Now you can see right about there, there's still a little bit, now I'm holding so it looks exaggerated, but there's still a little bit of food in her system she's digesting. She ate Sunday night, today's Wednesday night. So it's been, 72 hours that she's been digesting. So I'm not overly concerned handling her a little bit right now. And obviously I'm just trying to be as gentle as possible. But typically I give them at least that much time before I handle them. I just thought she was a good candidate right now. And I didn't feed one for the video, and I fed the wrong one. So I fed her, and I meant to feed the one that was in the previous video, and I didn't feed that one. So now I need to feed that one tonight. So I just screwed up. Another thing I really like about her is her tail pattern there. You can see that nice contrast going on with the real deep blacks into the kind of creamy orange colors and the yellows. Then you get a little bit of that belly pattern coming up. You can see there the sides, that real nice, marbling, obviously. Just a really cool animal, and I keep having her on the side where it's not the one that I want to show you. I mean, they're both nice, but I just really like this side. That's what really enamored me to this animal, because Rob and I sat there and we had a bin full of these snakes that we produced, and he produced. I just loaned him my male for this joint project, but we went through and picked one by one, and there's different reasons why we picked each one, and we each had our own reasons. The nice thing with the marble clutch is every single baby in that marble clutch is just absolutely great. So there was no I'm going to get stuck with the ugly one, because they were all awesome. So that was really nice, and that's why we're trying to repeat that pairing this year. So he has my male again. I dropped him off, I don't remember when. I dropped him off on the night of Kevin's surprise birthday party. I just don't remember when that was. I want to say it was after I had been back from my trip. So it was sometime in early to mid-October, I believe. Was it November? I don't know, my brain's so fried. But I went up and brought him up with me that night while I was up there anyways. And so Rob has him to try to make more of these, because everybody wants them, and I can't blame them because these are amazing. But it's tough because then everybody gets mad that you're not selling it. And it's like, well, we split the clutch, so I only have 4 of them. So I only have 2.2, 2 males, 2 females. And because I have future plans with them, I need to have a little bit of a group of them, especially girls, because I like to rotate my females out. So if I just keep 1 female of something, then that might be 1 clutch every 2 to 3 years. Whereas if, there's a demand for it and I like them and I have a direction that I'm working towards, I'd like to be able to have the option to produce them every year without tiring my females out. Plus, never a good idea to rely on 1 male. Things can happen. Snakes sometimes do pass for one reason or another. So it's nice to have options in case that happens, have a backup plan. Maybe one is sex strong, maybe one doesn't breed as strong as the other. So I will keep both males for a while. And then, of course, I have the father as well. And it's tough. I watched a video the other day, and, I won't mention any names, but somebody that's very respected, somebody that I respect. And they were talking about how, you run the business of doing snakes. And one of the things they said is replacing your breeders. And I hate that, because that makes these guys numbers on a page and not living creatures that, establish in your home and get used to a routine and get used to how you handle them. You see it where, somebody else comes over and handles your animal and they don't react the same way because they're used to what you do. And so you have that animal for 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 10 years, 15 years. You make a bunch of money off of it or do what your plan is, and then you kick it to the curb and send it somewhere else. And that's just not something I'm really good with. So typically if an animal's been here for a while, it's going to be here forever. That's why with like the babies that I have for sale, I don't interact with them as much. I don't want to build that relationship. I want the new person to build that relationship with that animal. And that way that animal's not so set into a routine and is more pliable, if you will, to somebody else. And also it keeps me from getting attached to the animal. Like an animal like this, I probably handle this animal 3 times, but I'm already attached to her. Like I wouldn't want her to go anywhere. And literally like 3 times I've handled this animal. So when people tell you you have to flood them and you have to handle them all the time, it's just not the case. It's just them learning your mannerisms, learning that they can trust you, you learning their behavior and how to read their body language. Like right now, she's very intently watching me, but she's not upset. You can see good, deliberate tongue flicks. Her posture is a little apprehensive, but also curious. So she's trying to decide as I'm talking, and she can sense that, the CO2, whatever it is coming out that they pick up on. She's deciding, is this prey? Is this a predator? Is it something I can just erase off that list? And so right now, she's not identifying me as prey or predator, but she's still trying to figure out what it is. So if I jam my face into hers quickly, she would probably strike, a defensive strike. It wouldn't be a food-related strike. You can tell she's not looking for food right now. It's just not, her brain's not telling her there's a food source nearby. She's just like, hey, I don't think that's a predator, but let's just keep our wits about us and make sure we're safe. But right now, curiosity is her main function, and so she's moving around and seeing what's going on in the environment around her, taking in information and learning. So like I said, handled a couple times, easy peasy, super calm, no problems. Now these guys were pretty calm from the get-go, but even snakes that aren't, just letting them sit for a while and observe you and letting them kind of just get used to you just from minimal interaction and moving them to clean can just be enough. It doesn't take that much. People kind of overdo it and get a little too crazy. And I know I touched on that way back, like episode 7 on the taming hatchlings. Less is more a lot of times. These are not stupid animals. They will learn if you give them the opportunity. You just have to move at their pace. You don't want to force them. Look at that. Such amazing looking animals. And they're such nice marbles that I think it's going to be a very, very easy transition into the extremes. I don't think it's going to take more than maybe one good pairing to get into that region. Especially if I were to pair siblings up, I'd probably get there pretty quick. I think right now I'd probably do the females to the father, and then I'm not sure with my males. I have a female as well kicking around that's sibling to dad. As I'm going to sit here and say I don't know what I would do. I have her, so that'll probably be the initial plan. See how that pans out and adjust from there. Now, with that said, the gene pool is limited, so I'll have limited direction to go from there. So if I wanted to keep going more and more extreme, then I would have to look at outcrossing and getting something else from, a Matt Minatola, or getting something else from like Dennis McNamara, who's got nice stuff. Some of those people have stuff that I could mix in and look to kind of go more extreme. I don't even know if Dennis has granite or marble, but I think his are more marble. I'm trying to remember. But there's a lot of people that have nice stuff within the realm of this. Matt, I think, probably stands out with some really cool stuff because he really put some time into the project that Keith had started working with the marbles. So the only reason I didn't mention Keith is he doesn't do short tails anymore, but he is the one that really put in the foundation there. So female marble, check her out. We will see you this weekend. Got one more video with Dylan, which I mentioned on the community page. If you don't, first of all, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But if you don't have your bell notifications on, I do post probably once or twice a week in the community section. Share some pictures that I've taken. Share some information about what's coming up in the future. Ask you guys about content that you'd like to see. So if you're not in there and not participating, go ahead and do that, and then you'll be able to be a part of those discussions. I'm not spamming anybody by any means in there. My members see separate posts. They also obviously see all the posts, so they're seeing maybe like 2 or 3 a week. But for you guys that aren't members, you would just probably get 1 to 2 a week in there, so nothing too crazy. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you.